Alright, so welcome back. Hopefully all of you guys are having a fabulous day here today. It is that time. Guess what we're talking about? Yes, New Year's. I know that we have still a Pilgrim to release, but I thought that I would jump into this and show off basically the new everything we've gotten and all the tidbits of info that's kind of hinting towards, hey, this is what they're doing for New Year's. Again, I do like how Nikke does it, where they basically tell you, like, hey, these are some popular characters that are, wink, wink, popping up in your story. High chance, wink, wink, they'll pop up, in the future. I just kind of like that entire thing, but with the newest storyline, okay, so there will be some spoilers here we'll talk about. Nothing too intense, but some spoilers that's already been known by most people. We'll also mainly focus over here on this being Old Tales, because again, there's a lot of good stuff in here. And most of you have already played all 12 things of it. Obviously, Story 2 is not out yet, so I don't know what happens in Story 2, but I wanted to talk about this because we kind of are getting there to the point of where we know, potentially, okay, who New Year's might be. Let's hop into it. New to the channel, like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. Let's get to everything. So let's start off this. Again, why do we already kind of know or potentially know where they're going with things here? Nikke always likes to basically tell you in advance or show you off this design, whatever the design may be, of a Pilgrim, and this Pilgrim will probably just gather hype over time and then release at some point. That's how they do things, right? If you were to look at it, Modernia was originally shown in story, Dorothy was originally shown in story, Crown was originally shown in story for a while. Who else? We had, again, obviously Red Hood. I don't know if I said that already. We had also now Cinderella. Again, all these characters, these Pilgrims, Scarlet Black Shadow, they were all shown off in story before the release. So for the New Year's Pilgrim, let's say it's a character like Nayuta. She hasn't been shown off yet, so that's why we can't really predict her to be a character, because they only go off of Pilgrims they've shown off. They allow this like hype to manifest, and then boom, drop them. That's kind of how they do things. So last year, when we had the 1 year anniversary, this was the promotion we had. This was the entire event, correct? We had Red Hood, who was the anniversary unit. We had Small White, which was the free unit. We also had a bunch of other designs revealed here. Again, one for Lilywise, one for, obviously we already had Dorothy, which she's also there. We also had Scarlet, and we also had Rapunzel. If you look at it, Scarlet was your New Year's unit, and this was this year's unit, which was kind of cool. So last year, they've kind of checked off every mark over here, other than the one character who didn't make it. So obviously speaking, they mostly go through the designs and release them whenever they can. That's the point of making these designs. They gauge the hype. They knew that Black Shadow was going to be a hit. They released it right away for New Year's. This year, we have very similar situations. So where we are at this year is this. We have 5 or 4 rather brand new characters. We can't count Abe because we know who Abe really is, kind of, or we speculate who she really is. Most likely it's between Red Shoes, Little Mermaid, Hansel, and Gretel as the characters potentially on your anniversary list. There are more characters. Again, this is not really a story spoiler. I combine the words because again, we literally I covered this in a what is it, interview video. But yes, some of the main counter squad is potentially getting SSR variants. So it's between one of these 4 here or the counter squad's SSR variants or variant. Who knows who they choose? Again, who knows when or if they're going to choose one, but potentially one of the characters in, again, the main squad between Rapia, Nice, and Neon has gotten again, SSR variant, and that SSR variant could really mean some things for us, and that could be your Annie unit. So it's between those 2 sets of things here, because again, nobody else has been shown, unless it's Chime, which it's potentially there. Where's Chime? Yeah, Chime over here. Unless it's Chime, which we'll see. I don't know if Chime has enough hype to hold. I'm sorry. Let's be very honest here. I don't think Chime has enough hype to hold her own anniversary. And usually before they run into an Annie or any sort of event, it sort of correlates to what they've been showing off in main story or anywhere recently. So I don't know. Chime hasn't really had a huge play recently. So if it were to be anybody, okay, in my opinion, it makes sense to be one of these ones. Out of these characters, again, there are some issues. Some real big issues, potentially some real big issues with some of the characters on how they are or where they are now. The one character out of the bunch actually that's being like sort of teased from what we know is actually Little Mermaid. She might actually be the anniversary unit for multiple reasons. First, she's being alluded to as like the main character. They're kind of pushing for Annie, the way they've set the story up and everything. First off, also, it's not just that. Red Shoes, and so from what I've seen on the JP side, nobody really likes Hansel and Gretel, which is I don't know why, but it's kind of the case. They love Little Mermaid and they love Red Shoes. Usually when Nikke sees hype around a character, they then will try to shift that character into a way of either making the character a good, person later on, or solving their issue and then releasing them, or they just either throw the character away. It's kind of how it happens, right? So I wonder between these two, they both have a severe, even though some characters have issues, okay? Red flags, if you were to say. They have assets or other reasons to summon for them, and people are falling for those things. So, just so you know, out of everyone here, in my opinion, Red Shoes, I don't know if she really makes sense to be it, especially where she is right now. She needs a lot of fixing. Where we are at, though, Little Mermaid could be your Annie unit, or again, your New Year's unit, or again, they go for somebody on the counter squad, again, as the SSR variant. They've been saying this in interviews that they want to give the SSR, or rather the counter squad SSR variants, and they've been trying to allude to that, constantly through dev interviews. And again, we do have a new design for somebody pop up in the new story, and it really could be one of the biggest, again, New Year's, things, if they proceed to do that. Marion was your first, okay, New Year's. Now, your third New Year's being this would actually be a very kind of cool thing if you were to look at it. It's kind of a cool thing. So wondering again who they choose here, but they could also choose somebody else, right? Maybe they haven't even shown off a design yet. Maybe it's a different character they're going for a variant for. Who freaking knows? I can't tell you for sure. But again, it's been alluded to that we would get this, and we are dying for a new Roppy. If that were to happen, it would be really cool. But again, if it were to look at the current characters we have here, I don't think it makes sense. These two, they would release them for an Annie, bro. That's where they're at. They would release these two for an Annie and release a double Pilgrim. But then again, we've never seen now a double Pilgrim for New Year's. But you've also never seen a double Pilgrim for Annie. So could be Hansel and Gretel. Could you imagine? That's your New Year's Annie. But the only character again on here that really scares me is Red Shoes has a great design. They'll probably fix her up later on. But Little Mermaid could actually be your character. In my opinion, it could make a lot of sense if they're going that way. But Chime is also there as an unreleased character. I don't think she'll be the New Year's character. There is also Indivilia, and there's also the newest character, Leviathan. Those characters could also be there, but again, they need to be, partially a good guy before they end up releasing, right? If you look at it where we are, they could have been, a nice Liberation character, but the devs forgot Liberation existed. They actually said that, yeah, they said, we forgot that existed, but they forgot to say that because they forgot it existed, so they forgot to make the script to say that because they forgot to. Yeah, I stand by that. Damn it, devs, come on, bring back Liberation. At least let us get something here, but, I've given up. Indivilia was the one character that I wanted, and I'm never going to get her, so I cried daily about that. They've also been tweeting, each day for the anniversary up until it. They were tweeting, Little Mermaid and a little lore drop about her, Red Shoes and her lore drop, and then Hansel and Gretel and their lore drops. That's what exactly happened, but they're definitely doing what they did last year. They're doing exactly what they did last year. They're restocking some extra, Pilgrim designs in there. Again, if a Pilgrim doesn't release, that's fine. They'll get back to it. They'll double back when they need to. Again, you see that whatever they released last year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 released right away, 1 released 1 year later, 1 released for New Year's. That's again how they did it last year. This year, where are we at? Oh my god, I clicked every image. Okay, where are we at here? This released this time already. This technically already released, because again, we all know who that is, right? So that leaves us with these 4 designs over here. One of them doesn't make sense, similar to where we are there. These 3 could, but again, I think the most that makes sense here is actually Little Mermaid. So that's basically right now where the entire speculation is running towards being the upcoming New Year's banner. Beyond these characters, I don't know who they would go for. Again, Nayuta was hinted at in that last Kingdom story, right? Being the 1.5 Annie, but they haven't even showed her off yet. So most people won't even care for her. Again, they've done this whole system of hyping up a Pilgrim beforehand. Nobody has been hyped up for this one if it's Nayuta. Again, all that's been hyped up are these characters, or again, the character that you just saw in campaign, okay, from the counter squad. That's who they've been hyping up. So truly wonder, again, I just want a quick answer here, all right? Who do you pull for? I'm so angry that I waited to the end of the video to ask this, because I know, maybe not everyone can answer this, but who do you want? Who do you want the Annie to be, all right? Somebody comment that down below and have everyone answer to you. I need that. I want to know, who do you want it to be? Would you want Red Shoes? Would you want Little Mermaid? Would you want either one of these two over here? Would you rather have a counter squad, okay, member, one of them, be your New Year's? Would you want Chime to be your New Year's? Would you rather have Leviathan or Indivilia to be your New Year's? Who would you want, all right? If it were me, from all these designs, I would have liked Red Shoes' design, not her personality, where she's at right now. Little Mermaid, I do like her design a ton too. Kind of a cool Pilgrim to me. But out of those, my things are, I'd rather have one of the counters or this. That's really cool to me. So let me know who you would want and what you want to go for there, and what you think, okay, would be the, if you were to say, you know, Cinderella this year of Red Hood, but the Scarlet Black Shadow, who is that this year in our newest batch of characters? Who's that Scarlet Black Shadow that's the New Year's? Let me know down below, all right? Take care, have fun. Just want to talk about this because, again, it's kind of where we are, and again, it's right after Christmas, so worth mentioning and worth showing.